Wildfire smoke is choking communities across Oregon and Washington tonight, and the forecast does not improve this weekend. Dry lightning is in the forecast across the Pacific Northwest this weekend, a dangerous setup on top of dozens of fires already burning. 88 massive fires are tearing through 18 states with zero signs of slowing down. The fire weather cocktail out there tonight. It is about as bad as it gets, folks. Southern Plains on fire, Pacific Northwest choking on smoke, Hawaii getting hammered by a hurricane. Nearly 30,000 firefighters are out there right now holding the line so communities don't burn. When I pulled up the year-to-date numbers tonight, I had to read them twice because 2026 has already scorched more land than any fire season in the past 10 years. Mid-August, 169% of the 10-year average. We are deep in historic territory tonight. There is a lot to get through, so let's cut straight to it. Region by region, fire by fire. Every section of this country is in play tonight, and I am going to make sure you know exactly what is coming. We open in the South because right now, the Southern Plains is running some of the nastiest fire weather in the nation. Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, if you are in any of those states tonight, do not tune this out. Temperatures have been hammering the upper 90s to triple digits across the Southern Plains all day long. Southerly winds gusting 20 to 30 miles per hour. Relative humidity down to 25 to 35%. Fuels are bone dry. That combination, heat, low humidity, and strong winds, is the established setup for rapid fire growth and dangerous fire behavior. The National Weather Service has red flag warnings stretching across the entire Southern Plains corridor right now. And 2 fires are already proving those warnings mean business. Let's look at both. First, Throckmorton County, Texas, 11 miles southeast of Throckmorton, the Woodson Creek Fire. 2,400 acres, 5% contained, declared a large fire just hours ago. Wind-driven runs, group torching. This fire is moving fast, and the fuel load is feeding it perfectly. Homes are in the threat zone. Texas A&M Forest Service has boots on the ground, but this is wide open. Second, Neshoba, Oklahoma, 3 miles east. Snake Mountain Fire just exploded onto the large fire list. 647 acres, 15% contained. Fire behavior rating extreme. Long-range spotting, that means burning embers are flying far ahead of the flame front and landing in fresh fuel. Structures are threatened. Crews are scrambling. This one went from spark to crisis in under 24 hours. Here is the stat that really frames tonight for you because it shows how extreme conditions are right now. Near Paducah, Texas, the Grass Burr Fire sits at 85% contained. Sounds okay. But it added 1,222 acres yesterday. A fire that is nearly wrapped up still grew more than 4,200 acres in a single day. That is what critical fire weather conditions can produce. Let's push west into New Mexico, because the Frijoles Fire is a situation that deserves your full attention. Santa Fe National Forest, 3 miles east of Quindío. This fire is 0% contained tonight. It has clawed its way to 8,921 acres, and there is not a single containment line holding it anywhere. Short Crown runs. Fire is actively running through treetops, group torching. Homes are directly threatened. 544 firefighters are throwing everything at this. Evacuations are in effect right now. Colorado is next, and the dollar figures on these fires will genuinely stop you in your tracks. Aspen Acres Fire, 20 miles southwest of Pueblo. Over 102,000 acres, 72% contained. Sounds like progress, until you see that 9 and 15 structures have already been destroyed. Neighborhoods wiped off the map. The suppression bill on Aspen Acres alone has cost $100 million. It is still burning. Then there is the Post Fire, 7 miles southeast of Trinidad, 4,334 acres, 30% contained. Another $100 million in cost to date. 2 fires, 1 state, over $200 million combined. Some rain moved through Colorado yesterday and helped crews breathe. But hotter, drier air is already moving back in. California is burning on 2 fronts tonight, Big Sur in the south and Humboldt County in the north. The Timber Fire, Los Padres National Forest, 4 miles southeast of Big Sur, iconic irreplaceable coastline. 4,500 acres, 12% contained. Evacuations are still active as we speak. Chaparral, timber, and grass burning together, and 1,811 firefighters assigned to hold that terrain. That kind of personnel commitment tells you everything about how much is at stake along that coastline. And Big Sur is not a place you get back once it burns at scale. Every acre lost there is permanent. Meanwhile, in Northern California, MP18 fire 2 miles north of Hoopa, Humboldt County, also explosive. 4,655 acres, 5% contained, 1,434 personnel working it around the clock. Active backing and flanking behavior, structures in the threat zone, and smoke hammering local air quality. If you are in Northern California and your air quality app is lighting red tonight, this fire is the reason why. Now we get to the center of the map tonight, the Pacific Northwest, and this is where it truly breaks down. National Preparedness Level 5, the ceiling. Every resource in the national system is fully committed. 55 large fires, 2.7 million cumulative acres, all in one geographic area. 17,300 firefighters deployed across Oregon and Washington alone. Let that land. Let me walk you through the fires that are driving those numbers, starting with the biggest one in America. Eastern Oregon, Big Grass Fire, 25 miles southwest of Jordan Valley, largest active fire in the U.S. 582,000 acres, over 500,000 acres of Oregon landscape gone or burning. 55% contained after a $52 million fight, but still running and still threatening structures. Roe Creek Complex, 10 miles south of Fossil, Oregon, 373,000 acres, 89% contained, $74 million spent. 33 structures already lost on that fire alone. The crews are close, but not done yet. Little Giant Fire in Washington State, 30 miles northwest of Leavenworth, 129,000 acres, 10% contained. Still showing active fire behavior, flanking and torching, and 26 structures already destroyed. That containment number is going to be the one to watch closely over the next 48 hours. That gap is enormous. Now, the Oregon complex I want to break down in detail because it tells the story of tonight perfectly. Grant and Wheeler counties, Oregon, Bologna, Cottonwood, Little Bear, and Rosenbaum, one team managing all four. Bologna, 409 acres, 61% contained, lightning caused. Crews making real progress there. Cottonwood, 722 acres, 93% contained. A Little Bear, 67 acres, 76% contained, human-caused ignition. Then Rosenbaum, 0% contained, 435 acres of extreme fire behavior in rugged Wheeler County terrain. Uphill runs, torching, short-range spotting. This fire is doing whatever it wants right now. And with red flag warnings in effect through the entire weekend, every dry lightning strike is a potential new ignition in critically dry fuel. That is the core concern fire managers are carrying into this weekend. New lightning ignitions on top of dozens of fires already burning. If you are breathing smoky air in Central Oregon tonight, here is specifically what is causing it. Interagency wildland fire air quality advisories are active across multiple Oregon counties as of tonight. Prineville is dealing with heavy smoke this morning, but winds should push it out through the afternoon. Mitchell and Spray, two small communities sitting right inside the smoke plume, are at unhealthy for sensitive groups. That category is not a suggestion. If you have respiratory issues in those communities, stay inside tonight. Keep your windows shut. Run an air purifier if you have one. Do not go outside for prolonged periods. All right, let's shift forward and talk about what is coming in the next 24 to 48 hours. Pay attention here. The ridge of high pressure that has been baking the southern plains is parked. It is not going anywhere soon. That ridge keeps pumping hot, dry, gusty air northward through Texas and Oklahoma with no frontal relief in sight. No significant cold front for at least 48 hours across the southern plains. The fire weather threat stays locked in. Temperatures across that region will hold in the upper 90s to near 100 through this weekend. No break. South winds gusting 20 to 30 miles per hour will keep pushing fire behavior from Dallas north through Oklahoma City. Now, further west, here is where the forecast gets complicated, and I really want to lay this out clearly. Monsoon moisture is streaming in from the southwest, and a weak disturbance is tracking northeast off the California coast. Those two features are colliding this weekend, and they are going to produce thunderstorms across the northwest. Most concentrated activity, southeastern Washington, eastern Oregon, the southern half of Idaho. Scattered development also possible over the Cascades and across much of the northern Rockies this weekend. Now, hear me clearly on this, because this is the most important part of the forecast tonight. These storms are not going to put fires out. They are dry lightning events, and they are a firefighter's nightmare. Dry lightning means the storm produces strikes, sometimes hundreds of them, but rain evaporates before it hits ground. The technical term is virga, those wispy rain streaks you see hanging below a cloud that disappear midair. You get the spark. You get zero moisture. On ground this dry, that equation dramatically raises the risk of new fire starts. Fire managers are already staging initial attack crews and aviation resources ahead of this weekend's lightning threat. East of the Cascades, Spokane, the Palouse, the Columbia Basin, upper 80s to low 90s, gusty winds, and critically dry fuels. Any ignition in that zone this weekend will have every advantage: terrain, fuel load, wind, and low humidity. All of that sets the table for the bigger picture. So let's talk about where the next 5 to 7 days go. Because the question everyone in the Pacific Northwest is asking right now is, when does this pattern break? National Preparedness Level 5 across the Northwest and Great Basin. Every national resource is committed. NIFC's official outlook keeps high fire potential locked in for at least the next 5 to 7 days. There is no signal from the official guidance that a pattern change is imminent. That is the reality. The atmosphere over this region has been stuck in a blocking pattern, and stuck is the right word. A blocking pattern is when high pressure anchors itself over a region and refuses to budge for days or weeks. Storm systems that should bring rain and cooler air get deflected around the block. They simply cannot penetrate. Picture a bouncer at a door. Every storm system tries to get through. The block just keeps turning them away. Until the pattern upstream over the Pacific shifts, the bouncer stays on duty and the heat stays in place. That is the honest picture for the Pacific Northwest right now. Hot, dry, and locked in. No sugarcoating it. Now, I want to be straight with you about the extended forecast, because the models are genuinely uncertain. Beyond day 3, forecast spread is widening. Different model runs are showing very different outcomes. Some runs show a trough, a dip in the jet stream, pushing south into the northwest around day 6. If that verifies, it could mean cooler temperatures and some precipitation, but timing is not locked in at all. I will not give you specific rain chances for days 6 or 7 because the models simply are not in agreement yet. What I can say without hesitation, days 1 through 3 are dangerous. Full stop. Dry lightning, extreme heat, low humidity, 88 active fires that want to grow, all in the same frame. Here are the 3 ways I see this playing out. Best case to worst case. Know all 3. Best case. That day 6 trough arrives ahead of schedule and delivers meaningful rainfall to the northwest. Temperatures drop 10 to 15 degrees. Relative humidity climbs. Firefighters get a legitimate working window. That scenario would be a genuine turning point, not a solution, but enough to lock in containment lines. Most likely scenario, the blocking holds through day 5. The trough arrives weak and late, around day 6 or 7. Brings thunderstorms, but once again, mostly dry lightning. New starts, existing fires keep growing. Fire weather persists through at least August 20th. Slow, grinding, exhausting work for the crews out there. Worst case, the blocking strengthens. The trough gets knocked north. It never reaches the Pacific Northwest. Temperatures surge back into the mid-90s east of the Cascades. Another wave of lightning. Another wave of ignitions. 0% fires like Rosenbaum in Oregon and Sand Creek in Montana would have room to run, and run hard. Sand Creek, Montana, 27,736 acres, 0% contained. That fire has nowhere to go but bigger right now. Let's put tonight's numbers into the historical record, because this season is genuinely unprecedented. Through August 15th, 48,617 fires, 7,002,974 acres, the highest mid-season burn total in at least a decade. 3 previous seasons, 2015, 2017, and 2020, each topped 10 million acres by year's end. Peak fire season is still ahead of us. The trajectory 2026 is on puts it in direct contention for that threshold. These numbers come directly from NIFC official statistics, not projections, not estimates, hard data. Before I close, I cannot skip Hawaii tonight because what is happening there is a completely separate emergency. Hurricane Lala is not on its way to Hawaii. It is already there. Category 1, eyewall brushing the Big Island. National Hurricane Center confirms maximum sustained winds near 80 miles per hour. This is a full hurricane on land now. The northern eyewall is wrapping around South Point, the southernmost tip of the Big Island, as we speak. Hurricane warning in effect for Hawaii County. Tropical storm warnings for Maui, Oahu, Kauai, and Niihau. National Hurricane Center is warning of life-threatening flash flooding and mudslides on steep island terrain. NWS rainfall forecast 10 to 15 inches on windward Big Island slopes, up to 25 inches possible in terrain traps. If you are on the Big Island right now, your window for preparation has closed. Stay inside. Stay off the roads. Hawaii Emergency Management is your source for all guidance. This storm is producing life-threatening conditions now. After clearing the Big Island, Lala turns westward Sunday, tracking south of Maui, Oahu, and Kauai. Heavy rain and dangerous surf will ripple across the rest of the island chain through Saturday night and into Sunday. Let's land the plane. Here is what you need to carry with you from tonight's forecast. Clear and direct. 88 fires, 18 states, 4 million acres, the worst mid-season fire footprint in a decade. Southern Plains, red flag conditions through the weekend. 2 new large fires already proving the danger. Pacific Northwest, dry lightning threat Saturday and Sunday on top of 55 fires already burning at level 5. Hawaii, Category 1 Hurricane Lala is actively impacting the Big Island with life-threatening rain and winds. The next 72 hours are the most critical window, and I will be back every day until this pattern shifts. Tomorrow, I'll have fresh numbers on Rosenbaum, Frijoles, Fielder Mountain, the Bug Fire, and Hurricane Lala. This one is moving fast. Subscribe and hit the bell so you are not catching up from behind tomorrow night. Tonight's forecast helped you understand what is happening out there. Hit that like button before you go. Share this with someone in the smoke zone. They need this information tonight, not tomorrow morning. Stay safe, stay informed. I will see you in the next one.